Well, as the union budget approaches, markets aren't just looking for big numbers, but they're looking for direction. Now, this budget, remember, comes at a moment when valuations are mixed, global cues are volatile, and domestic investors are the ones which are really carrying the market forward. So let me decode what the budget can realistically address, where market hopes meet fiscal reality, and what the Lal Street is actually penciling in. Let's first begin with the sectors which are going to be in focus. And let's start off with the big one, which is infrastructure and capital expenditure. Now, the hope on the street is very clear. Another year of double-digit capex growth, faster execution, better asset monetization, and sustained order visibility for PSUs. But the reality may be more measured this time. Now, remember, this is likely to be an execution-first budget. Focus on finishing what's already been announced, tightening timelines and improving efficiency rather than chasing headline capex numbers. Markets may have to settle for quality over quantity this time, perhaps. Let's switch to the other sector, which is affordable housing. Expectations are very high for this sector, as they typically are every budget. Now, the hope is that there could be a renewed PMAY push and meaningful tax relief to revive urban demand. The reality, however, points to a targeted support rather than a broad-based stimulus. Instead of sweeping incentives, the budget may actually focus on specific segments: first-time buyers, lower ticket sizes, and of course supply-side nudges as well, keeping fiscal cost actually contained. Now, let's talk about other sectors. And when you talk about markets, the hot sector is all about data center and AI, right? So data centers definitely could be one another market favorite, should it have anything in the budget this time. And the hope is very clear: infrastructure status, lower power costs to accelerate investment into data centers. Now, the reality may be more indirect approach, green-linked incentives, and, they be tied to energy efficiency and sustainability instead of, blanket benefits. Policy support is likely to be conditional, selective, and aligned with climate growth as well. Also, the other sector, which has always been a market darling, semiconductors, they remain strategically important. The hope is a broader PLI push to try and deepen India's chip ecosystem. But the reality is that support is likely to stay very focused on select, viable projects only. Execution capability, technology partnerships, and of course, scale will matter more than ambition alone this time around. The other sector, of course, is energy transition. Expectations are, of course, very, very ambitious when it comes to, energy transition as a play. The hope is for a big renewable grid expansion, of course, and large green hydrogen capex as well, which is clearly, touted as the fuel of the future. Now, the reality may be phased funding with clear prioritization. EVs, of course, are likely to stay front and center, while hydrogen and grid investments move forward more gradually, aligned with demand visibility, and of course financing comfort as well. The next sector, of course, is going to be banking and financials, as always, right? The backbone of any economy. The hope, of course, is very strong credit growth, deeper bond markets perhaps this time around, and the reality is a more cautious stance maybe. Expect a focus on capital buffers over a rapid balance sheet expansion, ensuring system stability, even if it tempers near-term growth optimism. The bond market, of course, the reforms may actually continue, but incrementally. At least that is the broad assumption that the market is going into this budget with. And then, of course, healthcare. Markets are hoping for higher spending and insurance relief. The reality points to incremental increase further than a step change. Fiscal space remains tight, and of course healthcare allocations may actually rise steadily but without dramatic surprises. That's the market expectation. The gig economy, now this has really been a hot topic, right? That's another emerging focus area. The hope is that formal social security and faster formalization perhaps for the entire sector. Now, the reality is a phased rollout. Clearly policy intent may be strong, but implementation is likely to be very gradual, balancing worker protection with platform viability as well. So let's take a look and, take a step back as to what the D Street scorecard has been from last budget to now. How has the market actually performed since the last budget? The Nifty 50 is up actually 8%, as surprising as it may be, and given the, recent underperformance, but from last budget to this budget, the Nifty has managed to hold out about 8%. The Bank Nifty, that's where the big sectoral bump up has come in. That's actually outperformed with a massive 20% gain. Mid caps are also up, by the way, 9%, while small caps, of course, have been largely flat. Now, this tells us that leadership has very, narrowed in the market, and investors are being very selective and not euphoric at this juncture, especially given the performance that we've seen in the last quarter or so. Flows, they tell an even clearer story. Look at foreign investors. They've pulled out about 2.6 lakh crore rupees, while domestic institutional investors have actually put in 7.7 lakh crore rupees, all in the cash market alone. Now, India's markets are being held up by domestic money, not foreign risk appetite. That picture, of course, is very clear. The other very important parameter that the market has been closely monitoring is what's happening on currencies. And that picture is a little bit mixed, if you ask. The rupee, of course, is down 5.8% against the US dollar, even as the dollar index itself is down over 10%. Now, these are, of course, all dollar-denominated calculations on your screen. The divergence highlights that India's relative underperformance on the currency front, something global investors are really watching very, very closely. Clearly, that linkage has been very well established. Now, globally, India has lagged some major markets. Look at South Korea, for instance. It's up over 100%. Look at Brazil, that's shot up 44%. Japanese Nikkei is up about 35%, and the Nasdaq alone has given a return of 20%, while India is up just 8% on the Nifty benchmark. Even in commodities, silver and gold have massively outperformed equities. The message is that India needs policy signals to regain relative momentum vis-a-vis what's happening in other asset classes. Of course, you may want to skip what's happening in silver and gold for the last 2 days. But, the question is, so what do capital markets really want from this budget? First, of course, is a credible fiscal path, sticking to the 4.4% FY26 glide path with clarity on FY27. Second, of course, is CapEx without crowding out, where private investment is encouraged, not displaced completely. Third, of course, is tax stability with no shocks to capital gains. Of course, that's something that the markets are not ready to hear at all. Fourth, of course, is divestment clarity, the lever targets, but better execution perhaps is what the markets would like this time around. And finally, liquidity and depth, especially in bond markets, to try and boost foreign investor confidence. That, of course, really is the need of the hour. And that's, of course, brings us to the big balancing act, as you can see on your screens. Markets don't want surprises. They want signals very, very clearly and categorically. The question is, can the budget push growth while preserving fiscal discipline? Can it support CapEx without losing control of the deficit? And can it back manufacturing jobs while staying realistic on revenues? That balance between ambition and credibility will decide how markets are going to react on budget day.